Chelsea Football Club has parted ways with Mauricio Pochettino just after one season in charge. It did not go according to plan, probably. It is quite shocking. Honestly, Chelsea are so full of themselves. I'm shocked that they did part ways with this guy. Anyway, speculations are about to start. Could Pochettino be destined to join Man United? I'll take you back because I know most of you forget so fast. I'll remind you of something before Eric Ten Hag came in as boss of Manchester United. Subscribe, like, share this video, and of course, let's talk Man United. Well, there's been a lot of news today from Marcus Rashford being left out of the England provisional squad for the Euros, yet Harry Maguire, Kobe Maino, and Luke Shaw, who has barely played a game this season, are in the squad. Well, for Kobe, there are no questions about him. Harry has fought and tried to come back. But for Luke Shaw to be in the squad, I think it should be a good sign to Manchester United that our player is recovering and there is hope that he will be back soon. So maybe, just maybe, he could return and be fit for a longer time. And if that is the case, maybe Ineos then won't have to worry about signing a left back because we do all know how good Luke Shaw is when he's fit. So that's a bit of what's happening with Man United. I won't dwell on the whole Rashford talk and the issues. I dropped a video earlier. If you missed it, you can go watch it again and see my take on the whole Marcus Rashford situation and what I think we need to do about it. But the whole talk now is that Mauricio Pochettino is jobless as we speak, and Manchester United, we do know, will make a decision. Ineos will come out and make themselves clear on the job of Eric Ten Hag after the FA Cup final this weekend. Now, the speculations already have started that maybe Mauricio Pochettino could be joining Manchester United. Now, I know most of you will be going, how on earth can we get Pochettino? He's a fake coach. He's not good enough. The reality is, Mauricio Pochettino and Eric Ten Hag were the two front runners to come and take on the job before Eric Ten Hag came in. If you do recall, he was, in fact, most people thought he was going to take the job. Most people wanted Pochettino, but Eric Ten Hag just scooped the job of him. So that again shows you in itself that he has been in the mind of Manchester United before. And honestly, if you look around, there are not so many high-profile managers, and I don't think, for example, Pochettino is going to spend long without being employed unless he chooses to take a sabbatical. But the reality is, he's one of the top coaches of the day, one of the upcoming top managers, if I would say that. He has coached top teams from Spurs to Paris Saint-Germain. These are top clubs he has coached. I personally rate him highly as a manager. I thought he was turning things around with Chelsea. In fact, I was low-key worried if this Chelsea stayed with Pochettino, Chelsea were going to be quite stubborn next season because those are perfect players for him. Yes, they just needed time to perform, and indeed you saw it towards the end of the season. They had turned the tide, and things were beginning to happen. But I think he had his demands, and these new American owners could not meet them. Now the question is, where is he headed? We know that Bayern Munich is desperate for a manager. That now they're even talking about Vincent Company, and I'm thinking, okay, wow. But Company can easily go to Bayern and post that Bundesliga like he was born for it. Because, I mean, the kind of football he played with Burnley just showed you, the kind of manager they're making in him. And probably they look at him and see a young Pep Guardiola. But I've heard that of course I'll dwell more on the Man United manager talk. I've heard a lot happening and a lot being said. I've been trying to contact people here and there, and the people I speak to seem not to be clear. Ineos have tried to really be as unclear as they can be on the future of Eric Ten Hag. They have been extreme about it. You like it, you love to see it. It shows you that they can, keep a secret. At some point, we are convinced that you can't keep a secret with Man United, but we didn't know about Omar Berada, honestly. The Dan Ashworth thing was all over the place. Jason Wilcox was all over the place. Probably those are not as very secretive, things as the manager's job. Now, it is said that Roberto De Zerbi agreed the deal already, and I told you here before, there is no way De Zerbi just left Brighton like that because he had a buyout clause of probably nearly £10 million. But he lives mutually with the club. He was probably sold by the club, by Brighton. Things had started going bad for him, and maybe as Brighton, a team that makes money, they thought, let's cash in on him because he's on fire, he's wanted. There's a big void for top managers around the world. So let him go there and try now to make the leap from being a mid-table, small table, bottom table manager to being now a top manager. So I expect De Zerbi to be joining a top club. And of course, question is, will it be a club in the Premier League, or could it be some club outside of the Premier League? First of all, De Zerbi has managed in Italy before, and Italian clubs are looking for managers. Juventus, we know, parted ways with Massimiliano Allegri. We know that Milan should be hunting for a manager. We know that so many clubs in Italy want managers. We know in Germany the case is they have denied being linked with him, at least for Bayern. But then Man United too, because it is believed that already they agreed a deal. Brighton agreed a deal, and they settled for a compensation of about £1 million with whichever club that De Zerbi is going to. But of course, they have chosen to keep it highly confidential. These are things I spoke about yesterday, but I will repeat them, just roughly to wrap it up for you. So it's highly confidential, and it's obvious that was always going to be the case. Now the question is, which club is it? Of course, when it comes to confidentiality, you can think of you can a bit think of Manchester United in a way, because certainly Ineos don't want to reveal anything until the end of until the FA Cup final is done. But I told you how I read the body language and the faces of the players at Man United, and De Zerbi himself, the people in the stands, everything, the whole look of the whole Man United Brighton game for me looked like De Zerbi was joining Man United, honestly. And knowing what I know with Dan Ashworth and what he has done, and the kind of football Sir Jim would want to play, or Ineos would want at Man United, I wouldn't be shocked really if it's De Zerbi they go for, because I think the obvious thing, if Ineos are to part ways with Eric Ten Hag, I don't see them going for an established high-profile manager. I don't think so, because the high-profile established is what everyone would expect, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe has clearly shown that he's for unearthing and unveiling and bringing something new and fresh, which I think is what United needs, because we have got all these high-profile best managers of the time, and it hasn't worked. So I honestly think that if Ineos are to part ways with Eric Ten Hag, they will go for a younger, upcoming manager. That's why I don't give a chance at all to Thomas Tuchel. Pochettino, he's in his 50s and stuff. He's a mature manager, but I don't know. I rate him as a growing manager. I still rate him as a growing manager. So he would fit the description of another. Yes, he's high profile because he has managed big players like Messi and stuff. But I think he has a lot to learn. He's growing as a manager, so he could perhaps fit the description. But I think I wouldn't be shocked, honestly, if De Zerbi, if in the event that Ineos are not sticking with Eric Ten Hag, I wouldn't be shocked if De Zerbi was the man coming in. But then, let me leave you with the shocker that will, I think, kickstart my next video. The shocker is that whichever manager who will come in at Man United will have just over 35 million pounds of a transfer budget to work with. I told you how we didn't have money. Now it's really bad. That's why you're seeing these end of year parties are cancelled and stuff. Ineos are looking for funds. That what they're planning is to sell players and make swap deals with clubs, and sign deals where you swap and add on some little money which you won't pay in cash. It's terrible what Ineos are dealing with. It's extremely difficult, but that's where we are. So which manager will come in and cope that? I think it's becoming increasingly frustrating for Ineos. Whatever they are doing, everything is becoming difficult. That the mess United is in, they are stuck with players who have got long contracts but have no suitors. So they don't know what to do with them. So they are vending players against their will, and you can't force a player to leave. So it's a bit fragile. Ineos, if Sergeant Ratcliffe thought he would come and just decree and declare that Anthony should leave Man United, well, the shock of his life, because there are rules and regulations around the game. The players' contracts are protected, and you don't just come and get rid of them because they're not performing. So that's the thing. Long contracts, big contracts, so comfortable. No one can offload you of these players. You're stuck with them, yet you want to rebuild. So what do? That's the confusion. But that said, I think the solutions will always be there. There is always a solution around. Let's wait for it. But Pochettino to United, don't start. Don't start, guys. I know the speculation is about to blow up. He's been on the list. Ineos have been monitoring him. Then they will share a certain photo of Pochettino's agent talking to the agent of Sir Dave Brailsford's friend. No, don't start with that. Let's wait for the end of the FA Cup. and we see. But for De Zerbi, that's my gut. My gut tells me could end up at Man United if they let go of Erik ten Hag.